Hey guys, so today we're going to take a look at the Zidoo UHD media player. So this is the UHD8000. It is currently, I think, the flagship media player for Zidoo, which is a Chinese company that focuses on making a lot of nice media servers and media devices. It also plays, high-res audio and does network streaming and stuff as well. So it acts like a lot of different things, actually. It's basically like a network streamer combined with like a NAS storage type of media drive type of thing, or a media server, right? And this is actually the parent company of Eversolo, believe it or not. I think people are probably a lot more familiar with Eversolo because for audiophiles, kind of looking for network streamers and music streamers, Eversolo has been getting pretty big in that space, and they're highly recommended online. Zidoo has actually been in the business longer than Eversolo. In fact, they're the parent company of Eversolo. And yeah, they've been around, I think, since 2014. Eversolo has only been around since 2023. But unlike Eversolo, Zidoo focuses more on media playback, not just music, but also videos as well. So I would say that's like the main difference here. Otherwise, from what I read online, their players are kind of similar to Eversolo in many ways, just that they're more focused on all-around media playback, not just music. So I've been looking to upgrade my media playback device for a while now. So this is my Nvidia Shield Pro that I've been using since 2017. It's a really nice compact device, and it has Android TV on it, which means I can download like Android apps on it and stuff. And this thing does a lot. I think I bought this for like 200 bucks back in the day. It has a 500 gigabyte hard drive inside of it. And the main thing I've been using it for is like YouTube playback, of course streaming. Like, I don't watch Netflix all too much, but Netflix and Amazon Prime TV and all that stuff. And Kodi is what I've been using it for because I've been streaming some music off of this device and also from my NAS servers. And I've been using it for playing games with retro emulation apps on here because it's running full Android and stuff. So this has been a pretty nice multifunctional, multi-purpose device. When I use it with my TV, of course, I can do a lot with it. But I was looking to think about upgrading to something, a little bit better sound quality or video quality, just something more premium, right? This looks like it could potentially replace my Nvidia Shield Pro and my NAS servers, because this actually can store media files and stuff on a NAS in the media player itself, because it does have storage space for NAS drives, which is pretty cool. So yeah, this is basically like combination media streamer and NAS server and yeah, music server and everything. I'll tell you guys a list of features it has because it's actually quite long. By the way, this costs $1,500 US, and that might seem like a lot of money, but keep in mind when you go into the audiophile space, right, you're getting to a lot of expensive stuff here. Some Eversolo stuff that are just music streamers, they don't even do the full media playback, they're not NAS storage or anything like that. They cost $1,500 or even more, right? $2,000, some of the higher end Eversolos. So this is actually not too bad. Think about all the streamers out there, right? There's very high-end ones like the Lin streamers, and Lumen is another one, or Render, or Relic, Nime, all these like big audiophile names in the business. They cost a ton of money. Moon by Sim Audio, right? That's another Canadian company. They make like $5,000 streamers and stuff. It's crazy, right? So if you go into the audiophile space, you can find streamers that cost a lot more money, thousands and thousands of dollars, and most of them, I would say pretty much all of them, just play music. They don't even play videos. They don't store your files on a server unless they're marketed specifically as a media server, and then that costs a lot of money as well. So if you compare it to that, I would say the Zidoo UHD8000 is actually a relatively good price. For $1,500 US, you get something that actually does a lot. And it does a lot more than some of those higher end audiophile music streamers and stuff. So anyways, I haven't been able to find many other companies that actually is a combination like NAS storage and a media player that can play not just music, but videos as well. So this comes with its own media player, which is really, really cool. So I'm going to tell you guys the specs here. So it has an Amlogic S928X Amlogic S928X K 64-bit pentacore A76 multifunctional processor. I assume it's a pretty good processor. 8 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs eMMC storage. And then you get the DAC chip inside of here is an ESS9069Q DAC, which is a fairly high-end ESS Saber DAC. In fact, I believe it is the flagship stereo Saber DAC. And it supports decoding of DSD512, PCM 768 kHz 32-bit. Supports Super Audio CD, ISOs, DSF, DFF WAV flag, so all your high resolution formats. Supports gapless playback, Q-track playback as well, for like playlists and stuff. Supports USB DAC input, and compatible with Windows, Mac, and Android. It's got a high quality power supply, large toroidal power supply, which is generally something you see on very high-end streamers and stuff. XLR fully balanced output, as well as RCA analog audio port, dual HDMI audio and video separate output. You can enjoy 4K and UHD audio at the same time without upgrading the AV receiver. Okay, I don't actually have my receiver anymore. I actually changed out my receiver in favor of just a stereo amp, because honestly, I felt like I wasn't listening to, like, I didn't care so much about the surround sound stuff. I rather care about the pure sound quality out of the stereo channels, the left and right, and even the center channel I didn't care too much about. I just like, I'd rather have a better left and right channel than to have like not as good 5.1 surround, I guess. So I just have a 2.1 system right now. I kind of got rid of my Marantz receiver because I don't feel like the sound quality was quite as good as my current Technics stereo amp. And yeah, just left-right channel matters more to me, just the pure sound quality, rather than just having very mediocre sound quality out of 5 channels. Just wasn't driving my speakers quite as well as my current Technics. It's got Android 11 operating system, and it's got dual hidden HDD bays, which is cool because I'm actually going to put a NAS drive inside of this. So I have a Toshiba NAS N300 8TB drive, which I'm going to put inside of this thing. So that means, yeah, this thing can actually replace my Synology disk stations in terms of being a NAS server as well. Because I have one of my Synology disk stations, which is a NAS server, but all it does is store movies and music. That's all it stores. So if this thing can do the same thing, but it also has a built-in, media player, then that's just better. So I think this can actually replace my Synology disk station in addition to my Nvidia Shield Pro, right? Then that would be pretty cool, replacing, multiple devices with one. HDMI 2.1 supports 8K 60 Hertz, and HDR, HDR10, HLG, HDR10 Plus, and Dolby Vision are all supported. So another thing I have to say about this is I do not have an 8K TV, I only have a 4K TV, and I don't actually think I will upgrade to 8K, because honestly I don't think it's worth it. Like 8K is like how much content is in 8K anyways, and to be honest, most of my movies are still in 1080p. Like, I don't have that many 4K movies, because the thing is, it takes up a lot of space, and I have most of my movies like kind of, let's just say they're just Blu-ray rips, right, that I get from the internet. So yeah, I don't really have too many 4K movie files, let alone 8K. So I don't think I'll ever take advantage of an 8K TV, and honestly it's fine, like 1080p upscaled to 4K is still pretty good. I don't feel like a big difference like 8K, like 4K and 8K I don't think there's a huge difference anyways, so it's really not even worth upgrading to 8K. Like, I don't even take full advantage of 4K, it's only with my PS5, and yeah, really only with my PS5, because yeah, whenever I watch movies it's really just going to be 1080p upscaled. So in some YouTube videos I guess I have 4K on, but yeah, for the most part I'm okay with 1080p upscaled. Yeah, and then all the HDR formats are supported. Personally, I think HDR has a bigger effect on the display quality than 8K does. So if you guys talk about like difference, in the picture quality, HDR makes a much bigger difference than going from 4K to 8K. So built-in VS10 image quality engine. It's interesting. It has its own proprietary and video quality, image quality processing. Supposedly, when you play music files, media files from here, like video files and stuff, it will actually look better on the TV. So it has some image enhancing technology in it, which is cool. I'm going to test that out. And supports AVI, VP9, H.265, AVS3, AVS2 video codecs, 12-bit BT2020 wide color range, Atmos audio pass-through output. Yeah, and even external Blu-ray, DVD, disc playback, CD ripping as well. A lot of stuff. This thing can do a lot of stuff. So anyways, UHD8000, it's an 8K UHD media player. I don't care too much about the 8K. I'm more actually interested in this thing being kind of a combination network streamer, media player, NAS storage kind of device. So let's take a look. Doing the unboxing here. And I got this at a sale, by the way, because I got it from a Headfire, so I didn't pay the full price of $1,500 US dollars. I paid 1,500 Canadian dollars instead, which is a lot less than 1,500 US dollars. So, all right, because this thing retails for 2,000 Canadian. You know, Canadian dollars are always worth less than US dollars. That's how it's been. Okay, this thing is a beast. Wow, I hope my TV stand has enough room for this. This basically is like the same size as a receiver. Like, you know how big AV receivers are? This thing is pretty much the same size as a typical AV receiver, I'd say. Like my Marantz Cinema 60 that I had a couple years ago. Okay. Yeah, it's basically the same size and weight as an AV receiver. Except it doesn't have, unlike a receiver, it does not take in multiple HDMI inputs. But it should have actually better, a better DAC inside of this thing than most AV receivers. Because most AV receivers don't really care too much about the DAC inside. It doesn't really tell you about that, actually. Like, most AV receivers, I'd say, like, they're decent at music, but not great. And that's why having something like this that's a little bit more focused on music is nice. Because technically, yeah, this is the same company that Eversolo is affiliated with. And you know, Eversolo has great music quality, so I have great expectations for this. Okay. So just going to get this thing off and I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's a bit of a beast, but to be expected. Okay. Alright, bottom doesn't really have too much. It's kind of boring at the bottom here. And then if you look on top here, it just has a Zidoo logo. That's it. So it's not very fancy looking, actually. And this is what... So here it just has a high-res audio logo. And yeah, let's see here. So it just got like a screen there. But this screen is kind of a basic screen. It's not like that fancy Eversolo screen where you can kind of, you know, navigate between like different sources in a full color screen or something. Yeah, it's not like that. It's not like a 9mm Atom. You know, those are cool looking screens. But the Zidoo UHD8000 doesn't have that. This is more of a basic screen. But we'll, you know, test this out later and I'll show you guys what it looks like once it's fully powered on and everything. Right, it's easier to show you guys like this. So yeah, the Zidoo UHD8000 aka UHD media player. This is Bluetooth here. Yes, it does have Bluetooth. It's Bluetooth 5.2. I don't know if it supports aptX or LDAC or anything. That doesn't show up on here, but yeah, I mean, Bluetooth 5.2 is all it says. And we have power on and off switch here. Of course, we have the AC outlet here. And RS-232 serial port for connecting additional, I guess, any kind of additional devices, controllers. I don't have any to connect, but you have that there. Coaxial, optical, HDMI out. This is the main HDMI out that I'll be using to my TV. This one's the main one, but this one is an audio only one. So I guess Zidoo's did some special, they have some special circuit here that isolates only the audio, which is interesting. So if you only want to have the audio out, I assume this is like better quality audio compared to most of your audio output or analog outputs maybe. So that would be interesting. Gigabit LAN, 2 USB 3 ports there. I guess you can insert some external hard drives there as well. And USB audio in. So yeah, if you have like something like my iFi ZenStream 3, you know, like another network streamer that wants to take advantage of the DAC inside of here, you can insert that in here. So if a streamer it doesn't have a DAC, you want to use this as a DAC, you can insert that in. And I assume you can also use this as a DAC with your computer as well. So I guess you can use that connected to your computer and use this as a external DAC. IR in here, trigger out, and you have analog output here. You know, you have the unbalanced RCA and you have balanced XLRs here for the analog out. So all in all, it's a good array of ports. So yeah, the one that's most intriguing for me, I guess, is if you want to use the digital audio output, you should use the HDMI out audio only, because that's a circuit they specially designed for the Zidoo to isolate only the audio from that HDMI. So I guess it's like eliminating some of the pins there. And then, yeah, the analog output would be good as well to use if you have like external is power amps and stuff to hook this up with. So yeah, and if you have like external streamers, you can use this USB audio in as well. So okay, pretty interesting. But let me show you guys the other feature here. So yes, this is a music streamer. It's also a DAC, but it is also a NAS storage server as well. So this is the front, right? So we have the power button right here, and we have another USB input right here. And here it says, you can see it supports 8K, HDR10, HDMI, DTS, Dolby Vision, Dolby Audio. Supports all that, DTS:X and Dolby Atmos through pass-through. And supports pretty much all the HDR formats, right? HLG and HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision. But let me show you guys, right? This is also a NAS server. So watch what happens here. So you can actually pull this down, and then here, of course, you still have that display here, but you now have two HDD drives here, and these HDD drives is where you can kind of insert the 3.5-inch NAS storage drives. So if I want to do something like open this one up, and then I have something like my 8 terabyte Toshiba NAS drive here, right? And then let's see, I should be able to just insert this in like this, like that, and there we go. And that's one HDD drive. And I'm not sure what's the maximum this can support, but yeah, I mean 8 terabytes is enough, right? That should be able to support, that should be able to store a lot of movies. But if I want to put another 8 terabyte drive, I mean 16 terabytes, that's a lot of movies I can store, considering I only have like Blu-ray rips and stuff. Of course, if you want to have the full quality Blu-ray files, then you might want to have bigger NAS drives. But for me, I have just 1080p Blu-ray rips, right, that I downloaded off the internet. So I think 8 terabytes, 16 terabytes should definitely be enough for that. And this is, I suppose, the power supply, right? Yeah, so see adapter here. And this is HDMI cable right here. Of course, I'm going to have a more premium HDMI cable. I have the AudioQuest Carbon. So I'll be using a premium HDMI cable. Zidoo. Okay, this is the batteries for the remote control, I'm assuming. And okay, we have some stands here, I guess. Yeah, I guess we can, this looks like it's something you can use to put stands on this. So you do have, it does come with kind of like a stand, I guess you can assemble, and then batteries for the remote. Yeah, so this is the antennas for the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. By the way, it's Wi-Fi 6. And this is the remote control. We can take a look at this. So yeah, this is the remote control. I mean, yes, it has a lot of buttons, but I mean, this thing does do a lot. So yeah, power and source, learning area. It's got the volume up and down, channel, settings. Looks like there's more power related, no, timer. Actually, it looks like some timer related buttons there. Some color coded buttons here. This looks like switching a line out or something. I'll have to really play around with some of this. This is a lot of stuff. And then media playback controls here, play pause. And then previous track, next track. We have our directional buttons here. Okay for confirm. Back button. I'm guessing context button here. Home button. And volume up and down here. Page up and down. Audio mute. And then numpad here. So the Nvidia Shield controller is like this. So this is actually a game controller, but you can actually use it to control the Nvidia Shield as well. Just pretty cool. You just use the D-pad to navigate, and A for confirmation and B to go back. So a couple other cool features about the Nvidia Shield controller, actually. If you press this middle button here, you actually activate the Google Voice Assistant. So that's pretty cool. And then you can do a voice dictation and microphone right there actually as well. And touch strip here for volume control, which is pretty cool. And then you have a back button, a play pause button, and then a menu button around right here. So overall, it's an interesting controller because you can use it for both gaming and also navigation on Android TV. And it's very comfortable to use as well. You know, got your standard buttons and controls and everything. It's very comfortable to use. And it's almost got like a PlayStation DualShock type of layout here, except it's actually even a little bit more comfortable than the DualShock, because I think the form factor is more like an Xbox type controller, but with DualShock layout, which is interesting. And also it's pretty cool, this remote lights up like this. Yeah, it's nice and backlit. Of course, that's for mostly playing games, although you can use it for the main navigation as well. But the navigation controller I think most people would associate is this one, the Nvidia Shield remote. And then this is actually a touch strip for the volume. This is for Google Assistant / voice control. And this is go back. And then this is for the Google Assistant, I think. And this for navigation and confirm. So you guys can see the difference, right? The Nvidia Shield controller is, yeah, definitely a lot more streamlined, a little bit more simple. This actually takes a lot of cues from the Apple remote, I believe, from Apple TV. So yeah. Definitely this Zidoo has a lot more features, right? So it makes sense. At the same time, it is overwhelming compared to the Nvidia Shield Pro remote. So yeah, just have to figure out how to use this. And yeah, NAS storage here. I'll put a lot of my movies and stuff on there. And I'm going to hook it up to my TV. And then I'm going to put some music, going to put some movies on the storage and fire up the media player. And then, yeah, I'll test it out and I'll compare it to my Nvidia Shield Pro. This is the Nvidia Shield Pro, just as a refresher. I got this in 2017, so I had this for roughly like 9 years now, I would say. And yeah, this one has been a really nice media playback device. I really do like the origami type of look to it. It's very simplistic. Yeah. Just nice and compact. Like, this is the size of the controller compared to the entire thing. So this is the original version of the Nvidia Shield TV that came out in 2015. This is the 500GB Pro model. Later revisions dropped the 500 gigs of storage and reduced the storage. I don't know why. They just reduced it, and you can't get this much storage anymore on the newer versions. They also dropped the micro SD card on the 2017 model. So I'm glad I got this one before they dropped those features. The newer revisions, they add better HDR support, like they add Dolby Vision support and stuff, and they add this AI upscaling feature and a better processor. So I was thinking about, you know, should I upgrade to the newer Nvidia Shield TV? But I don't know, because I lose out on the 500 gigs of storage and the micro SD. So I thought, okay, maybe not. Maybe I'll still hold on to my older model because I do like that additional storage. And then here comes along the Zidoo, right? The Zidoo is basically the Nvidia Shield TV on steroids. Like, it has a hard drive bay, so you can add a lot more storage than just 500 gigs. And it has AI upscaling, and it has better HDR support, and it has a better CPU, well, arguably better CPU, and a better DAC chip inside of it for better audio and stuff. So I was like, okay, I know it's way more expensive, but it also does a lot more, and it's basically the Shield TV on steroids. So yeah, here I am many years later. I didn't want to upgrade to the newer Nvidia Shield TVs because of, you know, they dropped the micro SD and the storage and stuff. Now I have a much more powerful option in the Zidoo, but that's not to say that the Nvidia Shield TV doesn't have its place. I mean, Nvidia Shield TV, I mean, for the price, right, you're getting a lot. It's a lot less than the Zidoo is in terms of the price. It's a lot more compact. The form factor is smaller, so like the Zidoo takes up a lot of space. I had to put it on a media shelf and everything. And it has Android TV built in, so yeah, you can just install any Android app that you want. With the Zidoo, you can sideload stuff, but you know, it's not quite as frictionless as with the Nvidia Shield. And yeah, like overall, I do think that the Nvidia Shield does have a lot of features for its price, which is quite good. It has game stream support, right? If you're streaming from your Nvidia GPU and your computer, you can do that. You can't do that with the Zidoo. Yeah, so there's definitely some things that the Nvidia Shield TV does that the Zidoo can't do as well. And yeah, form factor and price, I would say the Nvidia Shield TV is better, right? It's cheaper and it's a lot smaller, more compact. But yeah, you know, for me, I just got like a media shelf, and I want to have a more powerful, upgraded solution for my media playing, and the Zidoo seems like a great fit for me right now. So this is the array of ports on the back here. Pretty much everything you need and nothing you don't need. This is the power adapter, which is, I think, kind of it's sort of like USB-C, but it looks kind of proprietary, doesn't it? Full-size HDMI, of course, and Ethernet, 2 USB ports here. You can add in external storage and USB flash drives, whatever, loaded with your content. You also have an SD card for expansion, and the micro USB port here, which is used to connect to your computer, because you can transfer files into the internal storage, because there is a 500 gigabyte internal storage on this one. You can put your files and content on the internal storage, or you can use an external storage like the USB flash drive or micro SD. And you can use the USB-A ports to connect your controllers as well, up to 2. So yeah, I don't think you have to use the Nvidia Shield controller. You can use third-party controllers as well. So far all the third-party controllers I've tried have worked as well. So anyways, this is a really nice device. You know, there's a reason I owned it for such a long time. I think it cost like 200 bucks at the time. And it's just, yeah, holds 500 gigs. That's enough storage for a lot of movies and video games, like for retro emulation and stuff. So it holds a lot of ROMs and gives you a good amount of I/O as well. So anyways, this is a nice device, very, very compact. And I know the Zidoo looks like a behemoth next to it, but you know, hopefully the Zidoo will be replacing my NAS server as well and my DLNA server. So yeah, we'll see. And supposedly, you know, the video quality and audio quality should be better out of the Zidoo, since it has a better DAC and everything, and image enhancement capabilities that the Nvidia Shield doesn't have. So yeah, hopefully we'll test it out and we'll kind of compare this to, you know, this small little thing from 2017 against this behemoth from 2024, I think is when that UHD8000 came out. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so this is what the Zidoo looks like on my media shelf right now. I have some Synology disc above it. But yeah, basically, once you have the power switch flipped on, you know, you don't need to actually deal with that, because then you just use the power button. But again, this is how you insert the hard drive. It'll automatically actually try to push the hard drive out when you try to lift up the latch like that. But yeah, it's standard 3.5 inch Toshiba NAS drive here, 7200 RPM. It's a pretty standard 3.5 inch SATA drive. So if you guys know about SATA drives, it doesn't have to be a NAS drive specifically. I just happen to get one with the NAS, but yeah, it could be any just 3.5 inch SATA drive. By the way, guys, I did look it up, and Zidoo supports up to 16 terabytes per drive for a total of 32 terabytes because it's 2 hard drive base. So yeah, I think that should be enough for most people, 32 terabytes. For me, it's enough anyways. And also remember to format it before you insert it into the Zidoo, else it won't recognize it. So yeah, format your SATA drive into, for me, I think NTFS or exFAT are both fine. ext4 is also fine if you plan to keep it inside the Zidoo. I think it recognizes a bunch of different formats, but as long as you format it into something, right? A brand new SATA drive inserter just won't work. You do have to format it before you insert it in, and then it'll recognize it. 8 terabytes, and you just push it in like that, and then when you close it, it should automatically just connect it, and should be available internally once you have it properly formatted. And then we'll just turn the player on here, and then you can see what it looks like. It's just a very basic type of display here, no fancy color screen. Yep, okay, and all it does is show the time right now. But yeah, nothing fancy, just shows like, oh, it has HDR and the network is connected, and says 720p for some reason. No, now it says 4K, okay. Maybe it was just waiting a bit, and then says the time. So that's pretty much it. It's just a very basic display here. Of course, most of what you'll be doing is going to be showing up on the TV. So let me show you guys that. Alright, so now I have the Zidoo UHD8000 set up and running, and right now what you guys are seeing is the screensaver. So you can choose to adjust this in the settings, but after a certain amount of time, if you don't use the device, the screensaver will trigger. And it looks fairly similar to what you would see on like Android TV, right? Some kind of like Google slideshow kind of thing. So anyways, let me show you guys the interface here. So this is the main operating system, and they didn't go with Android TV. Not exactly sure why. They went with their own Linux-based operating system that's similar to Android TV, but not Android TV, meaning that it doesn't have Google Play Store, but you can still sideload APK packages onto it if you want. But let me just go over the basic functions here and all the things you can do, because there is a lot of things you can do with this device, okay? So, alright, first, this is the main home screen, I guess you could say, and a few different options here. So this one is, the first option here is the file manager, And this one is probably the most simplest way to access your files. So right now I do have my 8 terabyte hard disk drive loaded onto the hard disk drive bay. And yeah, this is all coming from my hard disk drive. So put my movies and music onto it. And this is just a simple folder-based browser right here. So if you go into File Manager, if you just want to play your files, you know exactly where it's stored, you don't care about any kind of fancy UI, then this is the easiest way to do it. You know, kind of reminds me of back in the day, I had my WD-TV Live. That was my previous media player before I had the Nvidia Shield Pro. Like 10 years ago I had that, and that was basically just like this. It was just using folders to browse, and that also connected to my home network, and actually, yeah, it connected to my Synology disk station. You know, the DLNA devices had that support as well. So it was kind of similar to this. It's just a very basic folder or file-based browser, and it's easy just to find your files here if you know where they're stored. So, you know, if I go to movies, if I know, you know, what kind of movie I want to watch here, yeah, and this has the media player. So if I want to watch a movie, I can go there. If I want to play my music, if I go to my music folder here, right, and play some music, I can do that. Yeah, I mean, it has all the media players for everything. So yeah, that's basically the easiest way and simplest way to access your files. So here I can quickly check at the bottom how much free space is left on the drive and how much space I'm using, which is fairly useful. And if you add additional hard drives, or if you connect like a USB thumb drive here, or you connect an external hard drive here, it'll all show up here on the side. So I named my media. You can name it whatever you want when you connect it. But yeah, once you connect additional hard drive, it'll show up here. Favorite is your list of favorite folders. So that's a nice little shortcut there. Storage, this is the internal storage, which only has 64 gigs. So I wouldn't personally use it because movies usually take up a lot more space. And like a Blu-ray rip, a 1080p Blu-ray rip will be at least 2 gigabytes, I would say. So 64 gigs is not enough to hold many movies, so I wouldn't use the internal storage that much. But it's there if you really need it. There's 64 gigs available on the internal storage. And yeah, connecting internal hard drive bay or external USB drive or hard drive is recommended. SMB is connecting to your home network if you have any DLNA devices. So I can see my Synology disk station servers here. Then you can connect to them as well. And yeah, if you ever run out of storage on the Zidoo, like it can fit up to what, 2 16 terabyte hard disk drives. So for some reason, if you need more than 32 terabytes, or you know, you just want to have you have all your media stuff stored elsewhere. In my case, I do have a lot of stuff stored in my Synology disk station servers. So these are my NAS servers here. Then I can access them here as well. So you know, there's basically limitless options for for where you want to access your stuff. And NFS is here as well. It's another way to connect to the network devices. So you have that. Networks, you have Universal Plug and Play, WebDAV, OneDrive, Dropbox, MB, Jellyfin, and Plex if you have a Plex server. So really there is a myriad of options in terms of your sources. So if you have your stuff stored, yeah, pretty much in a lot of different places you can access them here. So this is probably the simplest way and easiest way to access your stuff if you don't care about using like a fancy player or UI. So you can just use the file manager. So if you do care about having a bit of a fancier UI, you can use the poster wall. And this is your main app for videos and movies. So I already have a bunch of movies scanned here. I think 1900 here, but actually like I have even more than this. I have like close to 4,000 movies stored on this hard drive. But yeah, let me show you guys the options here. Of course, you can search for your movies, and that will be quite useful here since I have a lot. Filter. You can filter the list of movies here, so you can either go by movies, TV shows, you can go by resolution, 4K, you can even detect 3D movies if you have those, Blu-ray. Genre, you can filter by genre, region, year. You can sort by other things too. So nice to be able to have that filter here. Okay, and then you have sources, and this is where you would add your source where you have all your movies stored. So mine shows up as USB media, even though it's technically the internal hard drive bay I added. But I guess it's just like, hey, if you connect an external USB flash drive or external hard drive, it'll always show up here. And then, yeah, you can update it, and even when you're updating, you have a bunch of different options here. You can say whether it contains movies or TV shows, scraping the movies from IMDb or TMDb, I guess. And yeah, I think by default it will scrape from like IMDb or TMDb is where it's scraping from. So yeah, anyways, yeah, I have like 2,500 movies right now here. And settings. So I'm show you guys, there's a bunch of different settings here. So there's child lock, and then there's language here. There's poster view. You can change the size of the posters. Like, yeah, different sizes. You can show the ratings and stuff. Theme settings is interesting. So you can change your interface style. So by default, I'm using the one that just shows a whole bunch of thumbnails, but you can change that. Let me change it to the second one. You guys can show what that looks like. So yeah, this style is kind of like showing a bunch of like bigger posters, and then you can choose to see more, then it'll go back to this style. So instead of just having, you know, a bunch of thumbnails, you can have like a basically like, you know, some bigger poster images at first. And then you have other options down here, all movies, TV, unmatched. You have a board mode, which I'm not exactly sure what that means, but board mode, private. I do have some like 18 plus movies on here, so I guess that would be in private. My currently watching, this is the recent movies I watched actually. Better Tomorrow, classic Hong Kong movie. I watched Forrest Gump. And then different genres down here, which yeah, will automatically kind of sort those things. And then let's see, if I go to something like this, let's try this one. Yeah, this is kind of similar. Kind of similar to that last view here. It'll show a little bit of a synopsis, I guess, on top when you kind of hover over it. Yeah. So anyways, this one just shows a bit of a summary of the movie on top, which is nice too. But I personally prefer the I personally prefer the first view here, just because like I can see all the movies, more movies, just right away, instead of having going to the all. And then you can change your collection page style. So basically this is when you go to the more section, and then you can see how that looks like. You can change that style here. You can change the poster detail style, whether it shows like, you know, a bigger poster or a smaller poster. Preferences, you can choose the display rating from IMDb, source of scraping for the movies, for the TV, a bunch of different options here. Default viewing mode, show subtitles, show Rotten Tomatoes ratings. I don't care too much about it, but you have that. Use local images, automatically scan devices. It even plays a trailer. I'll show you guys that in a bit, but it can autoplay a trailer from the movie if it exists. Dynamic background. You can change the background dynamically. Whoops. Let's go back. Okay. And then poster folder. If you have custom posters you want to show on certain movies, then you can choose that folder here. So that's pretty cool. You can use custom posters. Library. This is a backup for saving your poster wall data. Data manager. So yeah, your cache basically. Tracked. I don't know what Tracked is. I guess this is a different kind of service that you can use. Wallpaper. You can change the wallpaper of the poster wall here. And about, okay, yeah, so that's the QR code there. Yeah, so let me show you guys how this works. So I have a whole bunch of movies here. Let's see here. Yeah, I loaded a whole bunch, but they're not like really that organized right now. I think it's just by alphabetically. Okay, let's look at Goodfellas, for example. So, okay, and then it'll show you, it'll pull the data from IMDb. So you can see the IMDb rating here, when it came out, the country, a little bit of a summary or synopsis of the film. It'll start playing a trailer automatically, which is pretty cool. And let me guys, should be playing the sound from trailer. Hold on.
A gangster was better than being president of the United States.
You can change the audio if it has different audio files. You can change that. Subtitle if it has different subtitles. You can change that.
I was living
So
in
here you can see this one is 720, H.264, AC, MP4, 24 Hz. And you can see the director, Martin Scorsese, cast Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci. You can see all the information here.
Funny like I'm a clown, I amuse
You can favorite. And yeah, it's cool. It automatically pulls that trailer out. You know, that's pretty cool. Yeah, here looking at an older movie, The Graduate. I think it'll still pull a trailer for this one too, even though it's older. This one's 1080, 264.
Hey, there's the award-winning scholar!
What are you going to do with your future?
Well, that's a little hard to say.
Dustin Hoffman movie. Yeah, it is pretty cool that it automatically pulls that stuff though. I didn't have to do anything. It automatically scrapes it. Like once it indexes your movie, it'll try to automatically like, I guess based on the title of your movie, it'll try to scrape it from somewhere, which is pretty cool. Let's see, keep going here. Yeah, so I'm gonna eventually show you guys, you know, how a movie looks and everything, and compare it to how it looks on the Nvidia Shield Pro. But yeah, just showing you guys. This is the basic interface for the movies. This is mainly how I'll be using the Zidoo for. It's mostly for movies, sometimes for music as well, but mostly for movies. And let's see, even for something like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, for example, right? Yeah, this is a 1939 movie, and you know, I'm surprised. It still manages to pull the trailer.
Gentleman will raise his right hand. You solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That you take this obligation.
It's cool. It even finds trailers for older movies like that. That's a 1939 movie. Yeah, that's still managed to find a trailer for it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, this is basically how I'll mainly I'll be using the Zidoo for is here. But it looks like all my movies are just kind of bunched together here. I mean, of course I can filter it and sort it, but right now it's just kind of every genre and older movies and modern movies is kind of all bunched together here. But yeah, you can always filter it, right? Let's see, what's another one? Kind of take a look at. Yeah, I was watching Forrest Gump actually. Let's go back to Forrest Gump here. Okay, so let's play Forrest Gump, for example. You know, classic, famous movie. Okay, so here, and this supports Dolby Vision. So if you press the settings here, by the way, I do like this remote. Yeah, it kind of just automatically has this nice backlight. Yeah, once it sees your kind of darker conditions, so I have a backlight, which is nice. But yeah, you can choose the subtitles here, select subtitle. So this only has an English subtitle right now, but you can select different subtitles. Subtitle settings. So you can even change the position of the subtitle, you can change the color of the subtitle, the encoding of the subtitle, the offset, and the font. So a lot of things you can do there. You can even download the subtitle from a subtitle server if you don't have it. That's pretty cool. You add your own custom subtitle. Audio, if you have other audio tracks, you know, multiple languages, you can change that. Aspect ratio, you can change that as well. Play mode, you can repeat, random, advanced, so you can change the frame rate. AI image process, sharpen the picture. Run, Forrest, run. Okay, anyways, there's a lot of things you can do there. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, actually even shows me the rating, right? Yeah, PG-13. And it shows me the running time, not 142 minutes, the year it was released. Yeah, I mean, I just like the fact that it pulls all this stuff automatically. Even like obscure films, right? Yeah, let's look at it. This is kind of like a Korean indie film, right? Ingyo. This is a kind of a indie Korean film, and even pulls the trailer for this one as well. This is not, I would say this is not like a super well-known Korean film. It's kind of like an indie Korean film, but even pulls the trailer for this.
내가 가장 사랑하고 존경하는 나의 선생님.
Yeah, like that's like an indie Korean film, and somehow it still pulls the the trailer for that. That's I didn't even know there's like it can find a Korean trailer, right? So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is because so I can, if I want to go by letter, I can do that, right? If I want to navigate faster, I can just go by letter here on the side. No, it's not. It's kind of hard to see, right? But I can actually go by letter on the side here if I want to just speed it up, because I do have a lot of movies here. But then if I go to this side, yeah, I can do favorites. I can favorite a movie, right? Watch history, my recently watched. I can filter by movies, TV shows, collections, Blu-ray, 4K, 3D. Yeah, a lot of stuff I can do there. This is a kind of indie Japanese film, right? Perfect Days. But it even finds a trailer for this one as well. It's pretty amazing, and it manages to find all this information, even like lesser known films, like Perfect Days. Managed to find that. Yeah. I have like, this is like really, really like low budget 18 plus Korean films too, like this one. This is like a really low budget indie 18 plus Korean film, and somehow it still finds a trailer for this. I don't even know how. Like, I didn't even know there's a trailer for this movie. Okay, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. Anyways, this is really cool. I do like the yeah, the fact that you can customize so much here in this video player. And it pulls so much information for like even lesser known films. It'll pull the information from that. And if you have multiple movies, it'll kind of bunch it together. You'll bundle it together in a collection. Like here, for example, Star Wars collection. I didn't put this in a collection. This thing did it by itself. It's like I had a bunch of Star Wars movies in my hard drive, right? It just manages to bundle them all together by itself. It's intelligent like that. So yeah, I have Star Wars New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Episode 1, 2, and 3, right? Force Awakens. I have the entire, Star Wars collection here. Yeah, it just does that by itself. It saw that I had a whole bunch of Star Wars movies, and it just kind of like grouped them together into a collection just on its own, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, with a lot of movies here. Yeah. This is another Korean, 18 plus indie film. Somehow it finds a trailer for it. How the heck, This is like such a low budget indie film. And somehow I guess it's on IMDb because, even indie films are on IMDb, but wow, even pulled the trailer for that one. So anyways, the movie player is probably the highlight of this device. That's really cool that if you just put a whole bunch of video files onto this device, you'll automatically scrape, different servers and stuff. You'll get the poster art for that stuff, and even find the trailers for it. It'll tell you what actors and directors and stuff is in it. It's just super cool. So I guess this is like one of the coolest things about this device here. And probably the main feature, in my opinion, is this movie player or video player here. Of course, you can put TV shows. I mainly just focus on movies for now, but yeah. This is such a low budget film too. Managed to find that. Yep. Yeah, I mean, you even older films. Mae West, that's really old. Big Lebowski. That's a cult classic. Yeah, it'll find you everything. The director, the cast, all the information about the movie, the trailer.
Man. I woke up this morning with the sun down.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, the video player I would say is the main feature of this device. But the music player is pretty good too. So if you want to go to the music player, it'll show you your now playing, your albums, your artists, tracks, library, playlists, listen casually, and then different music services, because this is also a music streamer, network streamer as well. So you got Tidal, Qobuz, HiResAudio.com, Amazon Music, Deezer, Com Radio, SoundCloud, Video Paradise, Internet Radio, Idagio, KKBox, TuneIn, Apple Music, Podcast, Spreaker. I don't even know a lot of these, right? Loud.fm, Hotmix, You can download different apps. I mean, if you want, I guess it has another Apple Music. Spotify's already on here as well. I got it. And then if you have music stored on your cloud, right, which is like, yeah, if you have different cloud drives that you store your music, OneDrive, Dropbox, or Plex, you can access it here. CD as a kind of CD ripper thing, I guess, as well. So there's a lot of cool things you can do here, a lot of different options. So yeah, right now if I go by album, and this will do the similar thing as for the movies, it'll pull the album covers, right? But this one is like, yeah, this one doesn't reach out to a service to pull it. I think it's just, you know, music files. If you have the album cover on the music file itself, you'll just get it from that. Yeah. Like as for example, I can play like this song Forever. And there's a few things you can do here. So you see the title of the track and everything. You can see the PCM 44 kilohertz, the sample rate, bit rate, and everything, file format. You can favorite, and you see the album cover here, but also you can change the visualizer. So this, you can change different visualizers here. I'm gonna change to this. You can change to this. You can change to this. A view meter. I know this is kind of weird, but this is like something you see in amplifiers, but as a view meter, two different types actually. Favorite it. You can kind of cycle it, repeat, shuffle, add it to the playlist right here, which is just the album playlist. No lyrics, but you can change lyrics as well. Anyways, I have a lot of music as well. Best ways to search, right? Search right here. Let's search for there. So anyways, I can search for that. Album names, file names.
Love is red, love is blue, love is yellow or green.
Tracks. I mean, it's just too much. We go over there. Genres, years, composer. So this is where you scan your music files, and similar to the videos, you can kind of scan it here. You can add your library from external hard drive or internal hard drive. Oh yeah, one other thing is when you're playing music, the display on the Zidoo will actually show you where you are in the music. So remember how I showed you guys, it usually shows the time, right? But when you play the music, yeah, it'll show you where you are in the track. So that's pretty cool. It'll change that dynamically once you start playing music. Yeah. So right now it'll show like, you know, how far you are in the track on the display of the Zidoo, which is pretty cool. Actually, I didn't know that this is spinning like a little vinyl record here. That's pretty cool. And you can choose to play in the background as well. You know, you don't have to stop playing the music there. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, and then apps here. This is the Zidoo's apps. Is not the same as the Google Play Store. I'll show you guys. So you have an APK installer here, and this is used to sideload APK packages. So you will load a bunch of APK files. You can choose to load them onto a USB, and then you insert the USB onto the Zidoo, and then you can install whatever apps that you want to sideload onto it. So even though it doesn't have Google Play Store per se, but you can put different apps onto it if you want. So this is for sideloading Android apps and stuff, which is cool. CD. So you can connect an external CD drive, and then you can play from that drive. So you can act as an output for external CD player and stuff, I guess, if you have that. So yeah, if you have an external CD drive, you can kind of rip CDs with it, which is cool. You have a web browser here as well. It's Chrome. Clear Manager, Instagram. I actually sideloaded this. It does not come with Instagram. I sideloaded that. Image player. So I mean, if you want to just have this do slideshows and just be you know, kind of a slideshow photo kind of display type of device, you can do that. So that's cool. Home theater 5.0. Okay, so this is just I think this is just the video app that we saw before. Control center. Yeah, okay, this is actually you can use your phone to kind of do this as well. So this control center app, installation, different Android applications, I guess. Media center. This is just the file manager again. Music player, where you saw that. That's the power. I don't know why the power is displayed as an app, but yeah, that's just the power. Set Wizard settings is an app. RS-232 is a serial port that you can use to connect your other devices. Shortcut keys, virtual. That's something I sideloaded. You can update, of course, the device. Spotify and Tidal are here as well. I sideloaded YouTube. It does not come with YouTube. I actually sideloaded that. So yeah, then these are kind of apps that you can choose to install. So we can do edit app here. You can add any of these apps onto the home screen if you want. So yeah, I put those there. And then settings. So let me show you guys some more settings here. There's a lot of things you can do with this device for in terms of customization and personalization, right? So playback, auto frame rate. You can do local playback, third-party app online playback, bookmarks. You can do display mode is dialog prompt, text reminder, bookmark start time, end time, subtitle audio, right? You can do default audio track, default subtitles, online subtitles. Change that. Function keys, number key, time selection key, subtitle key, audio key, up and down. You can change any of those. You can customize that. Play mode. You can do a single file, repeat, random, force type subtitle. You can change those options. Blu-ray region. So yes, if you have region locked stuff, you can change that. Downloading the subtitle. Actually, I'll show you guys this in a bit. I forgot to show this. Show you guys how the downloading subtitle works for a film if you want subtitles for a film. Digital signage mode. You change that. So that's playback. Display here. These are settings related to display resolution. Yeah, I mean all the way up to 4K because my TV is 4K. Although this can technically go all the way up to 8K, as the name of the player implies. Color settings. So yeah, 8K, 4K, below 4K. You can change all that. HDMI range. HDR. You can change that. UI display mode. I have it set to HDR by default. Dolby Vision output mode. HDR output mode. You change all that. Yeah, HDR 10 plus, HLG, DV's Dolby Vision. Yeah. Custom EDID. You can add that if you want. I don't understand that one too well. But yeah, different nits, BT 2020 and stuff. I guess it's a color space, I think. Screen scale, you can change that. Screen ratio, you can change that. 16:9 display mode. Yeah, okay. Picture parameters, you can change this, which is just brightness, contrast, hue, saturation. AI image process. So this is something that is an interesting feature. You can enable AI to kind of increase the quality of your videos and images. I have it set to low because the thing is, I think if you make it too processed, it might look artificial, I guess. So I have it set to low here, but yeah, it is an interesting feature. Enable AI SR. So super resolution is achieved through upscaling technology and deep learning functions, and then the SR level is low. So it's interesting. It has these AI features, right? And you know, we'll see whether that makes a difference or not. I'll compare it side by side with what I'll play the same movies on my Nvidia Shield and the same music files as well. You guys can see if you can hear a difference and see a difference. Sharpen the picture. You can choose to fix the peaking, dejaggy, or dithering, and HDCP. So you can choose to turn that on. UI interface resolution, of course, 4K. I'm going to choose 4K, of course. I have 4K TV. Screensaver. Yeah, so this is when you enable screensaver, right? That's what you guys saw at the beginning here. Screensaver select. Right now only a default daydream, which is the same thing as a Google slideshow, basically, of some stock pictures. Wallpaper. You can choose custom wallpapers here if you want. This is the wallpaper that's shown in the background right here. And I don't know why wallpaper 1 and 2 are like both the same black. Okay, audio source. So you can choose the source of the audio, whether it's from the internal player itself, like the internal DAC of the player, or your USB audio in, which means you want to use an external network streamer or DAC. Output port. So yeah, if you want to output your audio through the balanced, through the analog RCA, the XLR RCA, the HDMI, which is what I'm using right now, I'm outputting it through the TV and into my Technics C600 amplifier. The dedicated HDMI audio port, which is an interesting option as well. Optical or coaxial. USB audio output as well, but it's grayed out right now. Okay, XLR RCA setting, DAC filter characteristics. This is the internal DAC, so you can change different filter characteristics here. Startup volume, volume step, volume protection, volume limit, pass-through mode, XLR port polarity. A lot of interesting options there. HDMI main port setting, decode, downmix, HD audio output, delay playback, volume protection, pass-through. Audio port setting, you can do the same thing, but you can also do DSD audio, SACD, super audio CD preferred area. Yeah. SPDIF setting, you can decode raw DSD and similar settings. USB audio output, you can kind of change the similar settings for that as well. Pass through compatible mode, audio offset for Dolby and DTS, Apple Music for Atmos audio output, and then network. Of course, on my Wi-Fi enabled Ethernet, I'm connected to wired connection right now. The connection lights, you can even change that. Bluetooth, right? It has Bluetooth 5.2. Samba server. Now this one is really, I highly recommend turning on Samba server. So what this allows it to do is, if you ever want to add files to the internal hard drive or the hard drive that you put into the Zidoo, then you can just do it from any computer. Right? All you do is you input that that IP address right there. So the IP address will allow you to access the Zidoo from your computer, and then you can just drag and drop your files onto there. So much easier than taking out your hard drive and connecting to your computer, right? So this way you don't need to take out any kind of hard drive out of the Zidoo, and you don't need to do any of that. You just access it through the IP address, through any computer, and then you drag and drop any of your files, like any of your movie files, music files, whatever. You just drag and drop it onto the Zidoo, and yeah, it'll show up like all the external hard drives connected as well as the internal hard drives will show up, and then yeah, you can just connect to the Zidoo here. So yeah, you can either drag and drop files directly from your computer that way, but what I do is, because I have a lot of my files stored on my NAS storage and my NAS servers, what I do is I, on my Synology disk station, I mount the folder remotely as a CIFS folder. So it finds it through the network, and then once I have it mapped on my Synology disk stations, then I can just move all my files over directly from my Synology. So that's just something from my Synology software. You know, I can do that. I can map any kind of network drive there, and then I can just move things directly from my NAS drives over to that storage over the network. So it was very, very easy for me using the Samba, because once I have the Samba, I can just map the network drive, and then I can just easily move all my files over through the network. So that's pretty useful. I highly recommend enabling this Samba server right here. It's super useful. And portable Wi-Fi hotspot right here. So you can even do a Wi-Fi hotspot here, which is cool. Then the other stuff is language, HDMI CC. You can choose whether TV wakes it up, turns it off, or the media player wakes up the TV. You can change all this stuff. Media player controls TV volume. And by the way, you can also download an app as well. And on your phone, you have access to many of the same options here. So you don't have to do it through here. You can also download the app, and your phone has many of the same options that you're seeing here. And you can control it with your phone instead of using the remote. Power mode, standby after power or startup after power plugin, HDD sleep. You can do sleep after some amount of activity, which will kind of save the life of the HDD. Fan control, I have it set to auto. You can change that. Front display panel, you can do the brightness of the display panel here. Space settings, playing time. So yeah, remember what I said, like by default it shows the clock, but when you're playing music, it will actually show the playing time. So that's pretty cool. And then keyboard as well, and date and time, and change that, hourly time, main interface, weather, weather settings. So let's see, this is gonna load the app. Okay, so right now I'm gonna put my city here because Yeah, it wasn't properly updated. I am in Vancouver, so I just had to put this one here. Yep, I'll update it. So yeah, now I'm gonna see my weather settings locally, which is nice, and update, recovery and reset, log report, about. Yeah, a lot of stuff you can do. But now you guys can see that it's been updated, right? With the time and the date and the weather in Vancouver right now where I'm in. So pretty cool. Yeah, this is the home screen. That's pretty much it for the Zidoo. Let me just show you guys, that subtitle thing. So let's find a film, let's see, without subtitles that we can download. Let's just take a look here. Probably be one of the anime or Hong Kong films. Let's see. Okay, let's try God of Gamblers. This is a classic Hong Kong film with Chow Yun-fat. Yeah, and they have the trailer for this one too? Of course, okay. Cool. It sees that it's a DVD and 2K as well. DVD and 2K. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's play it. Don't actually remember if I have the subtitles file for this, right? So let's just check. Seek a bit. Okay. So this is a Hong Kong movie. It's in Cantonese, right? So what I'm going to do is, since I don't have subtitles for this film, I'm going to download it. So this is what happens. So you download subtitle, and you see a bunch of options. It reaches out to some kind of subtitle server, and then I can choose which one. Okay, let's try the 1080p Blu-ray rip subtitle. So I'll just choose this, and it'll download the subtitle, and it'll automatically set it. So I'm gonna see, select, it automatically sets subtitles. So now it has subtitles. Yeah, pretty interesting. Yeah, I think it's really cool that you can just, if you don't have subtitles for a film, you can just automatically download them. It's almost like magic, like I don't have to go out to any kind of website to download, I don't have to search for it. It just automatically will reach out to some subtitle server and find it and download it and set it for you. So really, really cool. Yeah, and I know there's different quality of subtitles as well, so if you don't like these subtitles, you can always download another one. So yeah, anyways, pretty cool, right? That downloading subtitles feature is really awesome, actually. There's some foreign films that if I get it from online, it might not have the subtitles there, or I might not like the subtitles there. And what about this one? Hangungzu, right? This is a Korean film, so let's see if it has subtitles. Okay, I don't think this one does, but we're gonna try this one as well.
잘못한 게 없는데요.
Okay, let's seek to here.
이렇게 손바닥을 치면 소리가 나지.
Okay, so you guys see it's in Korean. There's no subtitles. All right, well, we'll download it.
사실은
Yeah, okay. And this is, by the way, it's not like a really well-known film. It's like, kind of indie-ish, but it still can download the subtitles. So, let's see. We got 2013 Blu-ray, micro 1080p. This one is the top. Actually, maybe I'll go for this one, the Ganul. Let's try this one.
눈에 직접적으로 보이는 객관적 사건의 실체들. 그러니까 실제 이루어진 일들을 말해.
Okay, so it's set the subtitles.
진실은?
Yeah.
누가 얘기해 볼 사람?
한봉주. 자, 여기 봐.
I think this one's a little bit off though. Let me just a little bit. I think the subtitle's a little bit off. I might just download another one. Yeah, I think this is a little bit off, so let me just download another one. Let's try the first one. We'll set it to the first one. Yep, okay. I think it's set to the new one. We'll get to a place where we're talking here. Okay. Not perfectly synced, but yeah. Okay, it's a little bit fast on the subtitles. Okay, but I think yeah, it's for the most part like, you know, it works. Yeah, so anyways, it's cool that it's downloading that kind of stuff. Yeah, keep in mind this is like kind of like almost like an indie Korean film. This is cool, it's still finding the subtitles for that. I'm gonna try out the search functionality here, and wow, this is a T9 keypad. Those of us of a certain age will know this keypad very well. I mean, young kids probably wouldn't know, but those of us of a certain age, definitely, this is quite familiar. The T9, alright, Millennium Actress. Yep, here you go. So it's from Millennium Actress. And this is an anime film. I don't know if I have the subtitles for this one. This is a great anime movie by Satoshi Kon, who only made a few anime films, unfortunately. I mean, I wish he made more. They're all pretty good. 1080, of course it has a trailer for it as well. 2002. Even tells us the voice actresses. I had no idea. But even tells us the voice actresses of this anime. Yeah, didn't know who the voice actresses were, but that's pretty cool. It even tells you that. I mean, stuff all pulled from like IMDb, but still impressive. Okay, let's forward a bit. Okay. I guess I already have subtitles for this one. Did not realize that. Well, let's try something different. Let's try to download a different language, actually. So this is English, obviously, but I already have English subtitles, but let's see if we can download a different language. I'm curious, you know. If I want a different language subtitle, subtitle settings. Is it only English? Let's see here. I guess. Okay. Well, I guess if you want to add different languages, is this only searching in English then? It doesn't search other languages? Huh. I think you should be able to change the language here. It tells you the preview of what the subtitle looks like. The font. Yeah, let's tell it, let's see, yeah, unfortunately, it might be only downloading English subtitles. Okay, I thought I would be able to search for a different language. Is it only English? Okay, well, I guess if you want a different language, you'll have to add it manually. So, I guess the download subtitle feature is only for English. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's a great movie, but yeah, that's too bad. Basically, yeah, if you want to download subtitles, I guess you could only download English subtitles, it seems like. Even though I have, yeah, it shows me SRT and EN here though. Why would it show me that if I can only, like, that's the thing, it says SRT, which is the subtitle file, and there's different types of subtitle files too. There's also .sub and others as well. And EN is English. That implies that there could be other languages here, right? But I don't see an option to switch to other languages to download. Yeah, that implies that there should be a way to download other languages too. Maybe I just haven't found it out yet. I don't know. But yeah, I guess by default it's English, but the fact that it shows EN here, like, makes me curious as to, you know, if I can download other languages as well. And SRT even also makes me curious as well if I can download other subtitle files. But yeah, I guess only English for now. You can add your own custom subtitles, of course. You know, that would always work. Yeah, okay. Well, anyways, that's the subtitle feature. Alright, that's pretty much it. I'm going to play a few movies and a few music tracks because, you know, supposedly we have AI enhancement and everything. The quality of the video should be better using this device compared to the Nvidia Shield. I mean, there's probably a reason why it costs more, right? So it's got like a better DAC and stuff inside of it. So I'm going to play some music files. We'll compare it back and forth between this one and the Nvidia Shield Pro. And the movies as well. We'll do kind of side-by-side comparison. So yeah, that's it, guys. Stay tuned for that. Alright, so this is my Nvidia Shield Pro, and it is running Android TV. Yeah, they actually release a decent amount of updates for it, actually, to upgrade the experience. So it does look quite a bit different than when it first came out in 2017. Basically here, this is the home screen. You have access to your favorite apps here, which is just a bunch of emulators I downloaded from Google Play Store. So the advantage of Android TV, of course, is you have access to Google Play Store, right? So you have access to a lot of Android apps that you normally have, and you can put them in your favorites here. Also have access to Netflix here, of course, and NBA, Google Play features like HBO Max and stuff, which I don't have, Peacock TV. Top selling movies, there's the upselling stuff here. Prime Video as well. GeForce Now is really cool. That's another unique feature of the Nvidia Shield, is that if you have, you know, if you have a computer with compatible GeForce GPUs, you can actually stream to here, which is nice. You can stream your games here, Apple TV and stuff. Yeah, so that's definitely a feature that the Zidoo doesn't have, right? GeForce Now, so that's actually a pretty cool additional feature, and also ability to.
I don't understand.
Oops. Yeah, and also the ability to download emulators and stuff as well. The Zidoo can't do that either. So yeah, it's still a pretty cool device. You know, just given the fact that the Nvidia Shield costs a lot less, and you can still do a lot with it. You have shop here, which you can buy stuff, right? So you can buy movies here, TV shows and everything. But you know, I don't really buy my movies, unfortunately. Discover, right? This is yeah, if you're looking for new movies to watch that you haven't seen before, not talking about new movies, but just movies you haven't seen before, then yeah, it might have some stuff here. And then apps is usually where I go to, because this is where you can download apps off of the Google Play Store. So you got yeah, Netflix and YouTube, ESPN. Kodi is the one I usually use for accessing movies off of my Synology disk station, NAS drives. Plex I used to use a lot as well. NX Player, VLC is what I'll be using to play the movie and music files this time, because I'll be playing off USB. Prime Video, Apple TV, YouTube Music is all here. And then of course these are all a bunch of emulators and stuff I've downloaded. Because yeah, you can use the Nvidia controller, right, as a game controller. So I often use this to play retro games and stuff. Again, something you cannot do with the Zidoo, right? Playing retro games, streaming video games. So if you guys are really into the gaming thing, the Nvidia Shield's really cool because it's versatile, right? You can use it to watch movies, play music, or just download any Android app, including emulators and games and stuff. And then also stream to it with Nvidia GeForce Now, which is really cool. So those are things, you know, the Zidoo doesn't have quite the gaming features. That's something that the Nvidia Shield does have going for it. Let me show you Kodi, for example. This is what I would do with Kodi. How I normally play my movies. So I would boot up Kodi here. Okay, and then I would go to, yeah, you have like all these settings here: videos, pictures, games, TV, music videos, TV shows, music. I'll go to videos, and then I have my Synology disk station servers hooked up here. So yeah, if I wanted to go to a movie, I can just hit up one of my Synology disk stations. I have it in my NAS servers linked here. I would just access that, go to movies, and if I want to watch something like, say I want to watch something classic, I have it all separated by folders here. 70, okay. And I have kind of a preview here on the side, right? A bunch of movies here, let's see. Okay, so say if I want to watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I can see that it's the aspect ratio, H.264, encoding 1080 HD resolution, AC 2.0, right? And play it here, and resume.
Give each and every one of you the ride.
Yeah, so this doesn't download subtitles automatically like the Zidoo. I had to manually put the subtitle files in the same folder.
As a matter of fact, there are very few men here who are committed. There's Mr. Bromley, Mr. Tabor, some of the Chronics, and you.
Yeah.
Chiswick,
So anyways, it
you're
works.
voluntary.
I've been using Kodi mostly, and yeah, it doesn't have the fancy, like, you know, the fancy
Scanlan?
thumbnails and poster wall that the Zidoo has. It's kind of similar to the Zidoo's
So
file
for Christ's
browser
sake,
or
you
file
must be
manager
committed,
type
right?
of app. So it's similar to that, but it works. Yeah, so it's not quite as fancy as the Zidoo, but it works. It's kind of like that file
Just a
manager
young
app that the Zidoo has. Anyways, now I'm gonna play some movies and music side by side, so you guys can see if there's a difference, or if you notice a difference between the Zidoo and the Nvidia Shield. I'll be using VLC for the Nvidia Shield. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Waiting for the break of day. life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. I was alone, I took a ride, didn't know what I would find. There, another road where maybe I could see another side. There, ooh, and then I suddenly see, ooh, and then I tell you that I need you every single day of my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. Got to get you into my life, into my life. I was alone, I took a ride, didn't know what I would find. There, another road where maybe I could see another side. There, ooh, and then I suddenly see, ooh, and then I tell you that I need you every single day of my life.
Now here you go again, you say we want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound of the loneliness like a heartbeat that you made in the stillness and memories of what you had and what you lost and what you had and what you lost. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they what you love and what you have and what you love. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say when they won't come and they won't go. Dance with me, darling, just one more time. Take my hand and let's just slow dance all night. Girl, you know I'm hoping, hoping when the music ends, you and I will fall in love all over again. Dance with me, darling, just one more time. Put your pride aside, right here next to mine. Girl, you know I'm hoping, hoping when the music ends, you and I will fall in love all over again. Dance with me, darling, just one more time. Take my hand and let's just slow dance all night. Girl, you know I'm hoping, hoping when the music ends, you and I will fall in love all over again. Dance with me, darling, just one more time. Put your pride aside, right here next to mine. Girl, you know I'm hoping, hoping when the music ends, you and I will fall in love all over again.
118 degrees Kelvin, fluctuation tolerance check, emergency power generator check.
Open the door.
Sir.
The control room. Do it!
Yes, sir.
Room 1 is at 0.0005 degrees Kelvin. It's within tolerances. No abnormalities detected in any of the rooms, duar walls, or defense system.
No abnormal atmospheric concentrations or reactions recorded.
So then all systems are nominal.
Look at what they abandoned in their panic. They were afraid. They were too scared, so they hid it away from the public, losing all sense of shame and honor, casting aside the civilization, and abandoning the science that created it, shutting the lid of the Pandora's box they themselves had opened.
Hey, we're still young. We could start over again. So what do you think, huh? This is the first time you killed a man, right? Come on, I'll go with you.
Bill!
You aren't listening. Turn yourself in. I'll even go to the police station with you.
Bill!
Anyway, when you get out, I'll be there. Let's go out for drinks, all right? Don't kick yourself over it. What's done is done. You've heard that. The guy is dead and gone. Huh?
Identify yourselves!
Yeah.
Bill! Are you all right?
Okay, it's you.
Bill!
Who's this?
Who's this? Well, I guess by saying I'm Kay's boyfriend, it's stretching it a bit. Depends on your point of view. Watch out for the water.
Must get lonely, you, Jan.
Not really. I make friends. They're toys. My friends are toys. I make them. It's a hobby. I'm a genetic designer. You know what that is?
No.
Now. Oh. Get home again.
Home again, Jiggity. Yes. Good evening, Jan.
Evening, fellas. You're my friend. I made them. Where are your folks?
I'm sort of an orphan.
Oh, what about your friends?
I have some, but I have to find them. I'll let them know I am tomorrow.
Oh? Can I take those things for you? I'm so drunken.
Gentlemen, welcome. You honor our island. I look forward to a tournament of truly epic proportions. We are unique, gentlemen, in that we create ourselves through long years of rigorous training, sacrifice, denial, pain. We forge our bodies in the fire of our will. But tonight, let us celebrate. Gentlemen, you have our gratitude.
Mr. Williams.
My family was extremely poor and miserable. I had a single possession to my name, an old bee-pile. So I busted the streets, but it didn't get me anywhere. I was desperate. We were starving. Then I heard him.
You can't do anything for your family. You're not good enough for them. But I can help you be good enough.
Overnight, my fate was changed. I was praised for my voice, even by the king himself. My family and I live in the palace grounds. Our bellies were finally full, our clothes clean. We were happy. But the patterns, they kept spreading until they consumed me. And I was condemned to the demon world, prisoner of Dima for all eternity. My family lost everything. And without me, they were even worse off than before. Every day since, I've been haunted by the memory of failing them.
You left them behind. Failed them.
These are a constant reminder of my shame. A shame I can never escape. Yours are a reminder too, of a shame of your own.
You don't know me.
You know, you can tell me. I understand. I'm the only one who can.
I'm nothing like you.
Denial. I get it. I was once there too. I'll be here when you're done pretending. Until next time.
There won't be a next time!
Jenny，
佢答應過我唔會再殺人嘅。
第二槍前，你放低槍啦！
我唔會放，除非佢俾我哋走啊！我求下你，你放我哋走啊！我唔會俾你拉佢啊！我係咪打中咗佢啊？佢係咪死咗啊？我冇心㗎，我唔係真係想打佢㗎。
佢冇事。
我冇心㗎。
使俾你死。
But yeah, overall, I think my thoughts on this device is that it is a really cool device, and I know it seems like it's a lot of money for $1,500, but you know, compared to a lot of the other more expensive streamers out there that only do music streaming, this one does more, right? It plays all your video files as well as just like a media server and a media player. I mean, it can basically replace your NAS server if you want, because it does store, like it doesn't do the RAID stuff, right? It doesn't do that kind of data protection, but it does store a lot of the data for you, and it essentially acts as a server. So yeah, I think this can probably replace some of my NAS servers. If I don't care too much about it being RAIDed, you should be fine. And then yeah, I can just put most of my media files on here. So it's nice that it's like a media player, media server, it's a network streamer, and it's a DAC. Yeah, and I would say the quality of the audio and video is quite good with this thing. So even though it is expensive, I will say it does a lot more in terms of features and functionality compared to a lot of more expensive streamers, like, you know, the Nime Unity, for example. There's some of the Lin stuff, you know, some of the Lumen stuff, like the Moon by Sim Audio stuff. You know, there's a lot more expensive streamers out there, let's just say. And this thing has more features and functionality than a lot of them. Or you can basically think of it as an Eversolo that also plays video files. You know, a lot of people hype up the Eversolo stuff. Well, this is the same company, right? It's the parent company of Eversolo. So it has that same audio type of expertise as Eversolo, but it also the fact that you can play media files and video off of it as well. That's really cool. So it's essentially an extension of the Eversolo stuff. And yeah, has a lot of functionality and features built in. So I like it. I think definitely this will be my main way of playing movies and TV shows and even music and stuff as well, of course, going forward. Yeah, I think this is a good way to do that. So listen, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. The Zidoo UHD8000. I am quite impressed with this thing and satisfied. Yeah, I know it doesn't have full Android TV. That's the only thing I wish kind of it was a bit more open. I didn't have to sideload all the APKs onto it. I wish it was just, you know, just full open Android, just like the Nvidia Shield is. So I can kind of, you know, install any kind of application onto it. You could still sideload it, but, you know, it's just a little bit more hassle. I wish it would just run just full Android TV, but I guess there's a reason why Zidoo did it their way. You know, maybe it's faster or like more performant using their operating system. But yeah, like that's probably the only thing is like just a bit of a hassle to install different applications onto it. Android TV, of course, is still more convenient. But yeah, other than that, it's a very solid player and yeah, it does a lot, I would say. So if you guys are looking for, you know, media server, media streamer, and a nice DAC and just something that can play your video and music quite nicely, check it out. Zidoo UHD8000. Thanks for watching.